we are dealing with the lesson Japan and Brazil to a traveler's eye in the previous class, and we knew about the travel writing and how it has begun in the past and how it's again regained its popularity as the time passes on, as the royal people will commissioned these voyages and discoverers as such. So we were dealing with the travel writing in the previous class, and the same thing will be continuing here. As it became, a travel writing became a serious scholarly study in the past 50 years, and also it is a part of cultural studies program in many universities. A travel writing is no longer viewed as a product of some innocent curiosity or an attempt to understand and align culture objectivity. Okay, page number 97, students. The continuation of note on travel writing here. We are in the last paragraph. Okay. So then, as we have studied in the previous class, that it also helps in the exchange of culture, tradition, and other social activities as such. So our culture and tradition varies from taluk to taluk, district to district, and state to state also. So nowadays, the travel writing has helped a lot in bringing up these together, and there we see a unity in diversity as such. So that is why now, to achieve this objectively, the culture and the tradition, and to understand the different unknown cultures and practices of tradition as such, so it became a main object today. Rather, these narratives are telling comments on how a culture gets represented by another, and in the process subtly uphold some cultural values as somehow superior and universal than the others. Yes. So these travel writings helps, and culture gets represented by another here. Okay, so person from a place to another person from a place, so the culture of these two people will be different, and travel writing upholds and strengthens so this exchange of culture as such, and the cultural values are somehow superior and universal than the others. Since our culture, our traditional values are more superior than any other thing, so that is why it is helps upholding and upholding the culture and tradition of our people. Which one? The travel writing here. Then the students, coming to the first important subheadline subtopic of this chapter is Japanese manners. And the important topic in the text or lesson, that is this travel writing, is Japanese manners. And you can expect a question, 4-mark question from this section about the Japanese manners. And so, if you go back to your comprehension part and see there the question, why does bowing an actual practice in Japanese culture look so quaint and puzzling to the other? This is one. The other one is, do you think the author is finding fault with making fun of the culture of bowing in Japan, Japanese, and speeding cars in Brazil? What aspects of our social life do you everything would appear quaint and odd to a foreign tourist. So these are some of the important questions that we can extract from this, and it is Japanese manners. A quarter of an hour in Japan will convince you that you are among exquisitely well-mannered people. See how Japs make nice foods, or Otto explains about his feeling or experience in Japan. He says that if you spend a quarter of an hour in Japan with Japanese, and you will come to know that you are among exquisitely well-mannered people. So these people are exquisitely, yes, well-mannered people. Who? Japanese, according to George Mike's here, because it's his own experience here, where you find the people and the Japanese are more well or a good mannered, well-mannered people as such. And even if you or anybody who can spend a quarter of an hour in Japanese, so you will know that, you will come to know that you are among the exquisitely well-mannered people. People who live on a hopelessly overcrowded island have to respect one another's privacy, or rather would have to if they had any privacy. Yes. You know that Japan is a small country, a tiny kingdom, a tiny country, where the area of Japan is somewhat very small when compared to other countries. Even then, so the population is maintained in Japan as it develops as such. And moreover, the people live on a hopelessly overcrowded island. So it is an island. Japan is an island, isn't it? So it's an island. It was Japan. And it is overcrowded by the people since it is very small in area. Overcrowded. And since it is overcrowded, there is no enough space to live in this country. The people who are living should respect one another's privacy. And the privacy becomes very important in Japan. So one should respect one's privacy here because they are living in an overcrowded place or an island here. So when the place or an island which is overcrowded by people, then there should be an understanding of respecting each other and respecting one another's privacy here. That is what is very important here. Privacy is given more value in Japanese people. Then, or we have to if they have any privacy. So if there is a necessity of giving respect to privacy, and if there is a privacy, then it will be really successful when you have an attitude of respecting each other there, or one another's privacy there. Then, but they don't. So courtesy as a double function, it is courtesy and it is substitute for privacy. And also, so you have courtesy there. One more important thing that Japanese respect is courtesy. And courtesy here has double function. What? Double function. What is the double function? Courtesy is a substitute for privacy, and privacy is a substitute for courtesy. So both are same. So courtesy is very much valued, privacy and courtesy. One and the same here. So courtesy has a double function here, where courtesy is a substitute for privacy and privacy is substitute for courtesy here. And that is it. So, see, I am giving you the points also here to make you feel easy or understand in a better way, okay, in order to away from confusions. See, this is how you have to make points here and understand here. Okay, I think it's a simple one. Then it is courtesy and it is substitute privacy. Take for example the little red telephones in the streets, shops, halls of hotels. See, one example he takes up, a very good example here, that is the example of telephones. The telephones in Japan, they were placed in the streets and shops and halls of hotels. The instrument is situated on a table, that is the telephone, a table or on a counter. They have no space to spare for goods. Why? Because it is overcrowded, because it is a small country, they cannot maintain separate space for telephones here. So that is why whenever there is a table, then they used to place this instrument, or that is telephone here. And you conduct your most confidential business transactions, your intimate love quarrels in public at a perfect privacy. Yes. This is a very, very advanced way of behavior that we find with the Japanese people. Okay, when this is publicly placed, what? The telephone. Okay, the telephone is publicly placed in the streets, in the shops, the halls of hotels, as such, because they have no extra space or separate space. Okay, there is no space for these telephones here. They are placed on the table, and whenever the place is available in that situation is there, so they accordingly they expand. You cannot bother, even feel any anxiety to make calls to anybody whom you like. And see that you conduct your most confidential business transactions. Confidential business transactions. Confidential business transactions, your intimate love quarrels, love quarrels in public. Yes. In public, in perfect privacy. In public, yet in perfect privacy. You need not feel anxiety here. You need not feel disturbed here or worried here. You can conduct your transaction, you can exchange your feelings and emotions in a perfect privacy. Why? Because people never bother to listen others' business here. So therefore, they give more importance to one's privacy in Japan. Okay, once again I repeat the same thing because it is very important here. Yes, you conduct your most confidential business transactions, your intimate love quarrels in public, yet in perfect privacy. Any passerby could listen in, but nobody does. A man's telephone receiver is his casual ace. In a perfect way, you can conduct your transactions. speak in a perfect private way here. So nobody cares to listen to you. No passerby or anybody would listen. Okay, would not listen to your conversation here. That's what he says. A man's telephone is telephone receiver is his cash. What is his cash? Means he can conduct his talk, call, transaction freely without anybody, without any disturbance. And this is the symbol of freedom here. Action means a big large building, bungalow. So he cannot worry about anybody whoever they passes away from there. Because the people of Japanese are of a nature or practice of not listening or anybody's transactions during they talk in the telephone as such. So that is why a man's telephone receiver is his casual basis. So this is what the people of Japan were practicing of. And this is the nature of Japanese that we find in this particular subtopic, that is Japanese manners. Now, my students, you will of course immediately notice the mania for bowing. And the other important thing that we come or think of now is it is bowing. Bowing in Japan is a sign of greeting, a sign of respecting people, a sign of giving respect to the people, each other here. And see, this is about the manners of these people. Among the manners, we have another quality that these Japanese have is bowing. And bowing in Japan is a mania. It is like everywhere, everybody keeps on bowing to each other. And it looks as if it is a mania and it has been spread throughout. Since it is a small country, the cities of Japan were overcrowded here. We know that it is an island and it cannot stretch its area any side of it. Okay, around it, again it's mapped as such because it's an island surrounded by the water bodies around it. So that is why, so it cannot increase its land, but it has to maintain its population as it is. Okay. So you will of course immediately notice their mania for bowing. Everybody keeps bowing to everybody else with the ceremonious solemnity of a courtier, yet with a great deal of natural and inimitable grace. So this is the grace and the practice of Japanese in their country, and bowing is one of the interesting and more respectable act of greeting here. Okay, so that is why Japanese call bowing is a mania in Japan. So now, so the bowing in Japan looks as if, see, everybody keeps on bowing to everybody else with the ceremonious, means more formal, more serious, and solemnity means earnestly, with a serious and formal way of a courtier, of a member of a royal family or court, as if he sits and stands and keeps saluting the guests or whoever comes into the palace as such. so it will be like a courtier. Who? The Japanese who bow each other and with a great deal of natural and inimitable. Inimitable means impossible to imitate or copy the thing. So nobody can copy or imitate or what? Yes, imitate here. It is impossible to imitate here. So that is the kind of bowing that they was. So it looks like as if it is a very good act of greeting with a graceful greeting here. It looks natural, it looks inimitable, it looks as a ceremony here. So this is what the bowing here. So students, there will be a separate question on bowing here, where we are dealing with the bowing here. See, from this paragraph on page number 97, that is, you will of course immediately notice the mania for bowing there. From there, so I will be explaining till the eating soup in the next page, that is page number 99. So it is about only the greeting called bowing in Japan. Then there is a brief description of bowing in Japan here. Yes. Bowing is neither less nor more silly than shaking hands or kissing the cheek, but it is quainter. It is an old-fashioned, old quality, attractive, appealing gesture and an act of greeting in Japan. That is what quainter means. More formal, more oriental means more superior, a better, best. It is also infectious and it can easily spread among the people here. Immediately, within no time, it can spread. So, it is infectious. So, for bowing, how we define, it is mostly as simple than shaking hands or kissing the cheek, he says. But it is quainter, more formal, more oriental, it is also infectious. Okay. Okay, when you take off bowing here, yes. Bowing in Japan. Mania for bowing, okay, then there is see here, yes, you will of course immediately notice the mania for bowing, mania for bowing. Okay, then of course, it looks as if it is a ceremonious solemnity of a courtier. How does a courtier perform in front of a palace? So it will be in a proper uniform, quite disciplined appearance, and he will be serious and he will be waiting for the people, and whoever enters and goes out of the palace through the gate or door, he used to bow, he used to greet, and then it looks as if it is. Okay, the courtier means a member of the royal court. See, how do we perform march past in NCC or in Republic Parade as such? So it's how it looks. Okay, Then it is of great deal of natural and inimitable grace. It is performed in bowing. And bowing is defined as it is a very simple, silly than shaking hands or kissing the cheeks here. Then he says that bowing is quainter, more formal, more oriental, and it is also infectious. So this is how this defines the bowing. Okay, or it is quainter, more formal, more oriental, and also infectious. After a few hours, you start bowing yourself, but you bow too deeply or not deeply enough. You bow to the wrong man at the wrong time. You do not clasp your hands in front of you, which is bad, or you do which is worse. You will discover that the Japanese have a complicated hierarchy in bowing. Complicated hierarchy in bowing. Complicated hierarchy in bowing. See, these are the important points you need to write a point by point, as you have a sequence of things mentioned in your textbook for a question about bowing. So the question will be direct. Okay. And you need to write like this, point by point. Not numbering or giving like bullet points like this. No, I am giving you the points just for your understanding purpose. How to extract the important answer from your text. So that is my intention of making a point series. Okay, you need not write answers like this. So it should be in a paragraph. Okay. See, for example, 4-mark question should be in a paragraph of 80 to 100 words. Remember this. Okay. What is this? For 4-mark. So now, see what type of hierarchy they have here. The whole tradition or the system which is very complicated here, which is very difficult here. So complicated hierarchy in bowing, who bows to whom, how deeply and for how long. One of the American states had an early traffic law which laid down that if two cars met an intersection, neither was to move before the other had gone. Similarly, if two Japanese bow, neither is to straighten up before the other stands erect in front of him. Yes. See, for example, he takes one province there, one of the American states in Japan. So, if two cars are intersecting, so they have to stop and go there. So they never go like, the traffic law says it is. They have to write down that if two cars met an intersection, neither was to move before the other had gone. So they have to come together and start, and then they have to take a departure from there. And it's how in Japan, if one bows to other, so he should not stand erect as the other one is bowing. So they both should stand straight at the same time. Bow and stand erect, stand straight. So it should go simultaneously. So that then only it will be in looking oriental or what a ceremonial as such. So that's why Japanese do perform this act of greeting in such a way. But it is not difficult, easy for people like us here. Because we have a very simple, we feel that simple. But Japanese feel it is simple than shaking hands. See how? If two Japanese bow, neither is to straighten up before the other stands erect in front of him. So all of a sudden both of them should bend together and straighten up together. So it should not be, there should not be difference in bowing as well as, straightening up themselves here. So it is that kind of things here, a little complicated to us, they manage it without difficulty, and even the smallest difference in rank, stay. See, the hierarchy is practiced like this here. Similarly, if two Japanese bow, neither is to straighten up before the other stands erect in front of him. A little complicated to us, they manage it without difficulty, and even the smallest difference in rank, standing, age, social position will be subtly reflected in that split second. One man's bow is shorter than the others here. And bowing differs with the rank, one's rank, standing, then see how bowing differs from man to man or a position to position here. Standing, age, social position, age, then social position, then and no difficult, no social position, and will be subtly reflected in that split second. One man's bow is shorter than the others here. And when you notice, so whose bend is shorter, whose straighten up is longer. So that you will be noticing with the rank, standing, position in the social and age and social position. So it differs with these things. So that is why it is complicated. See, for example, a man who has the highest rank, so he will be bending a little bit shorter than the other man because he is a man of the rank. And if he is good in standing position, if he is see for example, Prime Minister or President, so we have to bow in first with a little bend, long bend, deep bend, and whereas his bending is a little bit shorter. In the same way, it differs with age and social position. So age also matters here. A father and a son. How did they bow? The son has to bow his father, and father's bend is shorter than his son here. Why? Because he is aged, bigger, is the elder one, because he is his son. isn't it? So in that way, it becomes quite complicated in Japan, but it is for them, it is so easy, they can perform without any difficulty. In many cases, there are clear-cut differences in position and no difficulties. So there may be, in many cases, there is a difference in social position cases as such. But there is no difficulty at all. So they know that the basic rules inside the family, the wife bows to her husband, the child bows to his father, younger brothers to elder brothers, the sister bows to all brothers of whatever age is. The basic rules inside the family in building, it differs and it goes like this. So the wife has to bow to her husband there, the child bows to his father, their children bows to his father, their father, younger brothers to elder brothers, and sisters bow to all brothers of whatever age. But here it is sisters who have to bow even to the smaller or the younger brothers of them. So this is how the bowing differs even in family also. Okay, then I saw babies carried in a Japanese style. Then rules in, basic rules inside the family. That is one point here. Is that inside the family, it differs, and you can mention that. Okay, it is easy here. It's in the family. Okay, they are easy here. Okay, wife has to go to husband, and children has to go to his father. Okay, youngest to elders. Okay, and sisters to all. Okay, all of the brothers or whatever the age it may be. So then we have another important point there. See, for example, Jasmine says, I saw babies carried in Japanese style on their mother's backs in clever little saddles. Babies carried in clever little saddles. Japan, babies carried in little saddles. Mothers, okay, used to carry them in the saddles, okay, at the back of the shoulder as such. Okay, and whenever mother bow, baby bow too. See, if you think that the baby is on your back, okay, in a saddle, and mother is walking in a street, and she finds a person in front of her whom she knew, and now she has to greet him or her there, and the baby is on her saddle on her back, in a saddle on her back, isn't it? And she will bow like this, and the baby on her back will also make a move downwards, like bent like this, okay, position, and it looks as if it is baby to bow. Baby to is bowing. So this is a thing that was captured by George Miles here. I saw babies carried in Japanese style on their mothers' backs in a clever little saddles. And whenever mother bow, baby bow too, somewhat condescendingly, means something like a stoop or more intolerant from his majestic height. So this is how the author experienced a different kind of greeting in Japan, that is bowing, and even he has observed very keenly about bowing, and he studied about the bowing in Japan here, and he puts them in front of us through this article or his writing here. Then some more interesting examples he is giving here. Okay, just Japanese stores employ bowing girls. Stores, employs bowing girls. And what is the duty of these bowing girls then? To bow the people or the customers, whoever enters or goes out of the shops and malls as such, or supermarkets as such. So that is why Japanese stores employ bowing girls who stand at the top of escalators and whose only duty is to bow deeply and differentially to all and sundry. Means to everybody at our industry. To all and sundry means to everybody. So all and sundry means everybody. That is the meaning you get. So they keep on bowing whoever enters into the shops, malls or supermarkets. So that's why, so they do employ bowing girls in their shops, malls as such. Then Japanese stores bow too deeply and differentiating to all and sundry, the Japanese equivalent of half-page boys who turn revolving to swaras. So in Hungary, they are equivalent. Who? The bowing girls are equivalent to what? Page boys. Page boys. They call them as page boys in the author's country here. Page boys. Okay, so 1 mark questions and all. So these are all very important things. Okay, you have to notice here. You remember here. Then on the big, famous and fast Tokaido line between Tokyo and Osaka, 2 conductors enter the carriage in a slightly theatrical scene. See here in the highway, that is a very famous lane, a road between a fast Tokaido line, that name was Tokaido line, between Tokyo, the capital of Japan, and Osaka, another big city of Japan. So, where the 2 conductors enter the carriage, what we call a bus carriage, in a slightly theatrical scene, in a dramatic manner here. See how interesting it is, how beautiful it is. The very entry of these conductors into the carriage here. So I think it is time now. So we are going to stop the class here, the session 2, complete the session 2 here. Thank you.